Welcome. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for taking the time and dedicating the time to do some movement that is just for you. Please remember that as we move today, this is about listening and paying attention to what's going on in your body right now, not what you were able to do yesterday or 3 weeks ago or 2 years ago. So right now is the focus. Make sure you have something that's stable to hold on to for some support. Our focus today is strength and stability, and just where and how are the different ways and places that we find those things. So start with a strong, firm foundation. This gives you stability here. All your toes are spread wide, and you spread the energy evenly between the balls of your feet and the inner and outer heels. Once you find your foot foundation, push down into that foundation and then draw energy up through your legs and into your glutes. Set your hips into neutral, spine goes into neutral. Inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, press your hands down. So we'll do this a few times. You inhale, reach up. Exhale, press down. The only thing that's moving here are your arms and then your shoulders on your back body. You want to maintain neutral spine. Draw your abdominals in to hug that neutral spine. You fix your breath with the movement. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. For the most part, your breathing is in and out through your nose, always paying attention, readjusting, realigning, and resupporting. Last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, press down. I want you to roll your hands to face forward. Draw your shoulder blades wide onto your back body and draw your navel in and up. This is stability for you. Start marching here. Go left and right. Lift. How high you lift your knee is determined by your ability to keep your hips as still and steady as possible. You are still here in neutral spine. Draw your waistline in, lengthen your torso, and lift, and lift. In this marching activity, what you're doing is finding some energy, building some more energy, and also finding stability as you lift the opposite knee for some balance here as well. You lift and lift. 4, 3, get taller here. Go 2. Last one. You place your feet down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Sit your hips back into a chair squat. So strength from your thighs and from your glutes, stability in through your feet. If you look down, all your toes stay facing forward. Your knees are in line with the middle of your ankles. Hands can be lifting up or at prayer, or even on the tops of your thighs, right? Do the arm position that feels good and best for you. If your arms are extended up, start to press your thumbs tiny back. If your hands are at prayer, squeeze into your palms, right? So you have lots of options here. Breathe your ribs to the back body. Reach your tailbone down and back, your heart up and forward. So you're finding this extension of your spine, extension of energy. Push a little more energy into the big toe mounds of your feet. This will draw strength and stability up through your inner thighs. You have 4. Good 2. Last one, hold, sink it down a little more into your squat. That's it, really nice. Shift slightly more weight back into your heels and then push weight into your big toe mound so this evens out your foot foundation. Finding lots of stability here. Draw belly in to support your low back. Hold 4. 2. Last one, stand all the way up, shake it off. So start to do this kind of small rotation. Opposite hand will gently tap just underneath the collarbone on the front body, and then on the back body, hand taps just beneath the lowest opposite rib. Yeah, awesome. So if it feels good and is accessible in your body, there can be a slight rotation of your spine here as well. This is a variation of shaking it out. At the same time, we're tapping into some energy centers in the front and the back body, lung channel, kidney channels. Think breathing and support through elimination. One more each side. Come back through to center. Stand up tall. Bring your arms up to cactus arms. Draw your shoulder blades wide. Think elbows point across from each other. Set your spine into neutral. Squeeze your elbows down to just above your hip points, and then lift back up just to shoulder height. You squeeze down and up. We're starting here in a strong and secure foundation of both feet down onto the ground. So you know that this is a place you can always return to. As you move your arms and engage through your upper and middle back, keep your neutral spine. So your abdominal muscles are engaging to hold yourself in neutral. Now, your option as you continue this movement is to bring your left knee either up to tabletop or just left heel up and your toes touch the ground. So find the level of support and stability that you need right now. Even if it's for just a couple of breaths that you do the lift, that's okay too. You have 4. Stand up taller, 2. Last one, hold your elbows on the down. If your foot is lifted, lower it down. Reset into your strong, stable position. Squeeze your forearms in and squeeze, press out. So no weights here. I want you to find muscular engagement without the need of weight. So you squeeze in, chest muscles engage, press out, upper back engages, squeeze it in and out. Really nice. If you feel like you're just flailing your arms around, find more internal resistance. Imagine holding on to like 2 milk jugs, right? So you can build this resistance on your own and find a deeper engagement, build on your strength without needing any accessories. You have the option here, right knee lifts up to tabletop or right heel lifts up and you stay on your toes. Both are amazing. Both are still balancing. Keep your midline center focused so you're standing up super tall. Remember that in any balancing position, the standing foot is your key. That's the most important thing. And wobbling through your standing foot means it's working for you. You have 4, 2. Last one. Hold your arms on the in, place your foot down. So feet are hips width distance. Check in, all your toes face forward. Bend into your chair squat and punch your arms forward. 2 counts here. You squeeze up and in, you press out and out. Squeeze up and up, out and out. If 2 counts still feels too fast for you today, lower it to a 3 count or increase it to a 3 count. Press your arms forward. So now fronts of shoulders are working, right? And then backs of shoulders, your upper back muscles, again, work to pull your elbows back. Really nice. Pay attention to your knees as you go into your squat. You want to keep your knees tracking over the middle of your ankles. If you feel like the knees are knocking in as you squat down, find some more inner thigh engagement. You can imagine a ball or block between your inner thighs. When you stand up, tighten through your glutes as well. Really nice, you guys. Good. So Candace, when you go down, keep your chin in the same alignment as it is when you stand up. Yes, beautiful. Nice. Julianne, really push forward, use the front muscles in your shoulders. There you go. Stand up nice and tall, all the way tall, neutral spine. You have 4. Push down into your feet, go 3. Final 2. This is your last one. Hold your chair squat. Hammer curls here, you squeeze in and out. Good. Squeeze biceps and triceps. If your legs are like, what in the bloody hell are you doing? Stand up. Right? So let yourself make adjustments as you need to. These lifted hammer curls target and meet, wow, what am I trying to say? Require lots of support from your core to hold your arms up, and you're working the muscles much differently. You have 4. Go 2. Last one. And you stand all the way up, shake it off. Oh, you could do the tap through lung and kidney meridians if that feels good to you. or just shake it off. Let it go. We'll move into a little bit of a stretch. Reach your arms up. Bend your left arm in half. Grab your left elbow, tricep stretch. Pull your front ribs in and down so you're not overextending through the front body. And then you have the option to lift up and over to the right. Adding in some side body opening. Breathe into where you feel tightness. Allow yourself to find and work within the fluid balance of like strength and stretch. Allowing both to be equally important. Lift up. Both arms reach up, bend your right elbow, grab the elbow, tricep stretch first. Breathe your ribs in. You can even push your head back a little bit to lengthen your neck. And then option to lift up and over to your left. Really nice, you guys. Inhale, lift. Roll your shoulders around. Come down onto your mat to a tabletop position. Make sure that your wrists are underneath your shoulders and that your knees are underneath your hips. Set your spine into neutral and curl your toes under. Nail your belly button to the back body to support your neutral spine. And then from here, knees are on the ground. You lift your knees up and tap them down. Lift up and tap down. Really good. So now pay attention to what's happening inside your body. If you crash your knees back down to the mat and then you have to like to lift them up, try moving a little slower. And maybe today the knees don't even lift up all the way, but you do the action of as if you were lifting your knees. Really nice, you guys. Beautiful adjustments on that crashing down and that up, right? Like you found that fluidity between the balance, strength, stability, belief, breath, awareness, attention, like all of these things are what you're paying attention to now. Good. This is your last one down. Hold your knees on the lift or on that energy of the lift, and then press your knees tiny out, tiny squeeze in. Press out and in. Feel both your inner and outer thighs working to do the press and the squeeze, and your core stabilizing muscles are firing like crazy. Really nice adjustments. Breathe a little more energy into the space between your shoulder blades. Beautiful. That was nice. You have 4. Go 2. You got it, Candace. Last one. Final hold. Knees are at hips width distance. You have 4. Lengthen and breathe. 2. Lift your hips up, down dog. Nice job. Walk your hands and feet towards each other. And then inhale, come all the way up. Bring your hands back down to prayer. Open up through your chest. As we move into a wide turned out squat, if you want to hold on to something for stability, please do. Otherwise, hands stay at prayer. Unless you need to pull your pants up. Turn your toes out. Take a wide stance. Toes turn out. You bend your knees down and out only to the depth at which you can keep your torso upright. So that might not be very far. It might not feel like it's very far, or your brain might not think it's very far, but listen to your body and move accordingly. From here, hands at prayer if that feels safe to you. You press your seat down an inch, squeeze up an inch, take it down and lift. So the 2 largest muscle groups in your body are your thighs and your glutes. As we strengthen those muscles, it creates a chain reaction of different things to happen inside of your body. You may feel an increase in your heart rate. You may notice your breath changing. Sometimes people feel like a little dizzy. All of this blood is rushing and pumping to different parts. Pay attention to what it is you're feeling. At any time, you can pause any physical movement and stay in the hold. Or if you're feeling super unstable, straighten your legs, come all the way out of it, and then just take a reset. Push down into both of your feet. Lengthen your spine. Try to deepen your breath here. You have 4. Go 2. Last one, hold on your down. Make fists, punch across, tiny rotation through the spine, come through center, and opposite punch. Come through center. You punch, center, punch, center. This is a great tempo to stay at. You can really feel what's happening inside your body. If you want to go faster, go faster. Let this be your practice. Let it be a space in which you can test, experiment, advance, back off, do the things that feel right to you in this moment. Really nice. Awesome. Love that. Now imagine that I just put some boxing gloves on and around your fists. So they got a little heavier, right? And as you punch, punch into a punching bag, punch into a punching bag, punch, punch. See if that visualization gave you a little more oomph. And then we're going to add on to the visualization. Things, people, places, feelings, events that have held on to you, burdened you, told you or made you feel like you weren't good enough. Punch it. So much stuff to punch out. We're just going to stay here for the rest of the class. Yeah, I know. Oh, so bend your knees just a little bit more. Feel your strength growing right now. It's your physical strength, your emotional strength, your mental strength, energetic strength. You are building so much right here, literally punching out the things that do not serve you and breathing in love, kindness, this sense of you. Go 4. 2. Last one. Come back through center, hands to your thighs. You hinge forward. Take your left shoulder towards your right inner thigh. Hold in the stretch and breathe. If it feels good to you, you can press your thighs back just a little bit more, really encouraging the opening through your hips. Come up through center, inhale, exhale, right shoulder towards your left inner thigh. If you feel like you're collapsing into the stretch, just get a little longer through your spine. Back through center, lift your torso, stand up tall, shake it off. We're going into tree pose for balance. Step down onto your left foot and bring your right foot up. For this first one, keep your foot down onto your shin. Big toes can always stay on the ground. You can always hold on to something. Stand up tall. How high your lifted leg goes is not as important as how strong your standing foot stays. This provides you with stability. This provides you with support. Exhale, release. Place your right foot down, strong foot foundation, and your left foot comes up. Please, if you notice the difference between right and left side, notice it without judgment or critique. Just let it be what it is. Know that balancing changes every day, kind of depending on what all we have going on. Exhale, release. You can shake it out a little. One more time each side. Bring your right foot up. You can go higher this time if you'd like. Just make sure your foot doesn't push into your knee joint area. You have the option to reach your arms if that feels nice to you. You can try it. If it doesn't feel good, lower your arms. Again, this practice is about you finding your strength and your stability in each moment. Release, place right foot down and left foot comes up. Balance out your inhales and exhales. and release. Come back down onto your mat. Find your tabletop position again. If your wrists are feeling sensitive, remember you can always make fists and come onto the knuckle pads of your hands. Start your cat-cows. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. If you'd like to add in some shoulder movements and hip movements, you may. Do one more inhale and exhale here. And then curl your toes under, have a seat back onto your heels to stretch through your feet and your toes. If sitting on your heels feels too intense, you can always lift your hips up so that it takes some of the pressure off. It's that toe curling under sensation that you really want to stretch. Come all the way up onto your shins, place the tops of your feet down, and then reach your arms up to shoulder height. So we're going into some thigh work here. Push into your shins, have a seat towards your heels. You don't have to go all the way down. And then lift yourself back up, squeeze through your glutes. 2 counts. You go down and down, up and up. By reaching your arms out, you're adding more challenge, more weight into the core stabilizing muscles. If that doesn't feel good to you, bring your hands to prayer or even hands to your hips. Push down into the tops of your feet, down and through your shins. Also working on strengthening the muscles that surround the joints in your knees. Good, one more. And then you come forward into your tabletop position. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Start with a bent knee. Left foot steps forward. Yep. Make sure your right leg is far enough behind your hip that you're not on your kneecap. Feel the stretch through the right side hip flexors. Reach your heart forward so you're lengthening here, really nice. And then exhale, release, straighten through your left leg. You can flex through your foot here. If it feels good, you can grab onto the ball of your foot, but you don't have to, right? There is no forcing or making something be somewhere that it's not supposed to be or doesn't want to be. Even out your inhales and exhales. And then slide your right leg back or left leg back. Find yourself back in tabletop. Move your hips a little side to side. Bring your right foot forward. Start with the bent knee. Really bring your knee forward. At the same time you're pushing into your right foot, draw your right hip back. Notice your breath. Be more attuned to what is happening right now. Straighten through your right leg. Flex your foot. And then slide your foot back. Find yourself again into tabletop. Move your hips, move your shoulders. Come down onto your back. So lie down on your mat on your back. Start with your knees bent. Sometimes you have to kind of stretch your shoulders out a little bit. Knees bent, feet are on the floor. Arms can be anywhere that feels good to you. Take both your knees over towards the left. Keep your shoulders and your head down. Draw your navel in and lift your thighs up to center. And then exhale them over to the right. Keep your feet on the ground. They can come to the edges of your feet. That's fine. And then come back through center. Pull your left knee in towards your chest. Grab onto the outside of your shin. And then just start to stretch and move. You can move the knee towards your underarm area or kind of across the chest. Super gentle here, just adding some juiciness or some mobility into your hip joint. Place that foot down, bring your right knee in. Same thing, observing the differences and then adjusting accordingly. Place your foot back down. Set your spine into neutral. So there might need to be some wiggling and adjusting to happen. You should feel your sacrum flat to the ground. And you should feel the middle part of your shoulders in your upper back flat to the ground with a gentle lift up at the lumbar spine or the low back. Take your hands to your hip points. Pull your navel in and tip your hips up. So the sacrum stays down, but now you feel the rounding of your low back and the low back comes down onto the ground. There might be a little engagement through the seat here. That's fine. And then using your abdominals, bring your pelvis back to neutral, only neutral. You're not overarching. And then engage and round, low back down. And release, come back to neutral. So just little hip tilts here. Engage and round, low back down. This is very slow, requires lots of attention. You come back to neutral. Last time, low back down, tip your hips up and come back to neutral. It's a great way if you're feeling low back tightness or pain to just reset yourself back into neutral with this hip tilt. From your neutral position, take your hands to your hip points, open up through your chest, and breathe. You have the option of opening your legs out to a butterfly pose here for your final stretch and your final stillness. Allow your breath to be balanced. Allow yourself in this moment to be floating effortlessly between the fluidity of balance and strength, finding softness and knowing when to push. On your next breath, give thanks and gratitude that you had the ability to show up here for yourself today, that you were able to share in an energetic exchange with the rest of us, and were able to give to yourself more. If your knees were in butterfly, bring them together, hug your knees into your chest, roll your ankles around one direction and then the other. Bring yourself up to a seated position. In this moment, observe. Notice without judgment or criticism. And if it feels okay for you, infuse more love. If that feels silly or inauthentic, allow me to give you some love. May the rest of your day be moments where you notice your strength and where you find stability. May you give yourself opportunities to find your breath and to notice what is best for you in this moment. Thank you for being here, for showing up, and for being you.